Alright, so hello everyone, it's me, D-Alber, and this weekend I binge watched The Umbrella Academy, the new Netflix original series, and I just wanted to give my input into the series, how I liked it, what I didn't like. I'm calling it the Rant because I have no idea what else to call it. But yeah, as you can tell, this is not scripted. I just have like a couple points I might talk about. Anything that comes to my head, I'll just say. Also, I'm not really a critic or something. I'm just a regular user that watches the content that Netflix produces. So you can say, Alberto, you are not valid. You're not validated to talk about this. I'm just a consumer. I don't care. It's my opinion. Probably not worth a lot, but might as well tell everything I saw about it. So yeah, this series apparently is based around a Dark Horse comic, which I have never read. But I wanted to watch it because I thought it was an interesting concept. It sounded a lot like Watchmen, where there's just people with superpowers in a regular society, which is always a cool concept. But yeah, what to tell? Apart from it being a interesting concept, it has, just Ellen Page is just great actress. I love her, which is another one of the reasons I decided to watch the series actually, because I was in the bus, riding home, and I saw a guy watching Netflix on his phone. I was like, wait, I know that's Ellen Page, and then I figured, oh, it's Umbrella Academy. Might as well watch it. And yeah, I really like the music they had through the whole series. It was really something that I loved. I even wrote down a couple songs that I liked. There were like 9, so pretty much at least a song per episode that I loved and feel like was really well used. But that's about pretty much the only good thing I have to say about the series. Honestly, I'm really disappointed. Again, I'm not coming from the comic like, oh, the comic is better because it does this and it explores more the concept. No, I have never read it. This is just what I felt. I think my main problem is that all the characters are pretty much borderline assholes or stupid. And you can do well, you don't have to like every character. There's antagonists and everything that are assholes, but they're likable. I did not feel this way. Again, I think everyone was just stupid. Arguably the smartest character I guess was 5, but he's still some questionable choices. Oh, also I guess I'm gonna talk spoiler free until the end. So you shouldn't worry about that, I guess. Also, I don't know, man. I just couldn't understand the characters really. Yeah, they had a really bad childhood. His father was the greatest asshole I've ever seen in a film. But they were so damaged that they just didn't have personality to me. Everyone's personality was oh, our parent was an asshole and I have superpowers and I did this with that, and that's it. That's their personality. They're pretty much copy paste, just with different conflicts, I guess. And yeah, especially I don't know, Diego. I feel like Diego was just the son of Captain Boomerang from Suicide Squad and Ben Affleck's Batman. He was just the worst character for me in the series. I did not understand any of his motives. I didn't particularly like his acting either. His decisions were all around the place. He was like, oh, well, I can do stuff by myself, when he's arguably the weakest out of everyone on the Umbrella Academy. The actions of everyone is just doesn't make sense, honestly. Not from the way of living or anything. Arguably, the only ones that I could understand are Klaus, which is well, I can see dead people. That's really fucked up. I don't want to see dead people. Therefore, he became a drug addict, which is actually again, the thing that makes most sense through the series, or at least I feel that way. Banya, yeah, that makes sense as well. I really like her character. Might be my bias toward Helen Page, but I feel like, well, I'm not special. I'm, alone. My brothers don't really like me, so I can do whatever I want. I live my own way. Um, Alisa, her with her powers and everything, she had her life figured out. And even though she's, I guess, one of the main characters, the one we see the most, it doesn't really. I don't know. I just didn't feel like she was smart, even though I would argue that she's the one that makes the better decisions through the whole series. And then we have big guy, which I forgot the name of. Um, yeah, Luther. Yeah, Luther. He's just an idiot, borderline idiot. He has the good intentions of like, oh well, he's like the good character, the one that wants to reunite the family and stuff. I'm gonna like him, and I didn't. I just hated everything he said and everything he did. More problems. It was predictable, honestly. If you paid a little bit of attention, and just don't turn your brain off, most things were predictable. There's a couple of stuff that I didn't predict, like, for example, why their parent died, which I guess is kind of spoilers, so I won't go a little bit into that. But the overall bad guy of the series is really predictable, and it's like really sang out. Uh, you could argue that the characters don't really think it that way, but if they just listened to each other, everything would have been avoided. Um, Five being alive, I mean, that's a spoiler, I guess, from episode one. They just tell it through the whole freaking 40 minutes. They're like, oh, that's five. He went missing. Dad always thought he was somewhere around, and they just keep talking about five, and it's like, oh, he's gonna come back later, right? Uh, Even though it's pretty obvious again, because he's on the freaking um, portrait. But again, I didn't watch the comics, so I wouldn't be like, oh well. I wouldn't know if it was like, oh well, he actually died before us, and they just put him there for some reason. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna go a little bit into spoiler, like now, I guess. So if you don't want to watch spoiler, my final thoughts are not changing. I did not like it. I'm probably going in like a 6.5 out of 10. Because it was entertaining enough for me to binge watch it in 2 days. But there's better stuff to watch. So yeah, spoilers time, I guess. Paige, with power. No, wait, Paige. No, Banya with powers. It was absolutely predictable, honestly, and you know how his relationship with Leonard was like, oh well, he's gonna do something because Banya definitely has powers. He's gonna do something to cause the end of the world, which is like as the plot of the whole series. But I don't know what it was obvious to me, but it was like really stupid, honestly. Also, Leonard being the bad guy who was like absolutely predictable, and then they just went away with like, okay, yeah, he's the bad guy. He murdered his father and stuff, which is, an okay backstory, I guess. But it's kind of generic, honestly. Like, oh, I looked up to the heroes, but they shut me down. Therefore, I hate them now and must kill them all. What else? The relationships don't really matter in the great scheme of things. Like on the episode, I think it was like what 7 or 8, where Paige finds the book that Leonard has, and Luther and Alisa make up on Winces and stuff like that. Klaus finds his boyfriend, I guess, that died while getting intoxicated and stuff. That's like the satisfactory ending I guess they could have given it. Where like all the relationships get like solved and stuff. But again, they went back in time, so it didn't even matter. Honestly, all of the relationships are just like whatever, man. Like Diego with the police woman, detective or whatever. I don't remember her name. It didn't really matter. I didn't feel like connection between them. Like I wasn't sad when she died. I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna go into vendetta now. I felt really weak, honestly. Not like good enough motivation. Plus, it was the generic "we used to date" stuff, so now it's awkward. Plot from Jurassic World and every single other family uh, series or movie that has a relationship between two main characters. Alice and Luther, honestly, it's just I didn't even care about that. Like, oh yeah, we used to, I guess, wincest when we were a child. Why don't we do that now? And it's like so dumb. It doesn't mean like if Luther is supposed to be the good guy, it wouldn't matter if Alyssa was in danger or if everyone wanted to save the world. He would have just helped. Not only because oh Alyssa's in danger, let me go help then. No, it didn't matter. Also, the fact that they that Alyssa got mad because she found out that Luther got laid is like, oh my god, how could you do this to me when she was married and had children and everything, and they didn't even have a real relationship anymore, which is stupid. You know, it doesn't add anything up. It doesn't help the plot progress. It doesn't help anything, honestly, except I guess a little bit of character development. But I don't feel like there was a lot of that, anyways. The Five Dolores relationship, honestly, was just used for comedy. But I don't feel like they could have done something different. Because, like, imagine the world where you actually have to spend, like, 45 years or something alone, only with a mannequin, and you go insane. You would actually be way more attached than I feel like Five was with Dolores. But, again, whether I know, it's not my story. It's okay. Doesn't really affect the grand scheme of things. The clause with the private that die and everything, I like that one. It honestly made it's one of that made most sense because it actually helped him progress. Like, oh well, I'm gonna sober up so I can talk to him and stuff. I liked it. It was really good for me. Also, yeah, I would argue that Klaus is one of the best characters on the series. Um, what else? The Hazel with the donut lady. That one also made a lot of sense, and it also helped character development. It motivated Hazel to do everything he did throughout the series, and I liked it honestly. Hazel was one of the most human characters, and he's like freaking assassin that just kills everyone the commission tells him to, which is kind of weird, but hey, there are likable villains, I guess. So I'm fine with that. Also, Banya with Leonard, I guess it's the main plot of the series, to put it that way. The thing that causes the apocalypse, how Leonard just controls Banya throughout the whole series. Yeah, it matters. I didn't think they had a lot of chemistry, anyways, but I don't think it was meant to be like that. But who knows? And I think my last point of argument, or like being mad at, is like the powers are meaningless. Honestly, it could have been a story about just six people that had no powers but were like Batmans, I guess, and it would have been probably better because they don't exploit the powers. Like Banya, of course, they use it at the end, as the whole cause the apocalypse stuff, which is kind of ridiculous because if she can like control sound waves, how could the sound waves freaking become a laser and hit the moon? It doesn't make sense, but I'm not going into that. Diego, just again, Captain Boomerang times Ben Affleck. He's like useless. Honestly, he can cure knives. Oh my god. He cures like 5 knives throughout the whole series, and 3 of them are for like comedic purposes or that have served no point. The only knives I feel like matter was when Hazel and Chacha were invading the academy, and he actually hit like Chacha on the leg, and when they were on the final episode fighting on the theater. That's it. His powers were useless. He was not like physically strong enough to deal with either Chacha or really anyone on the series. Luther, he's generic strong guy that actually became a monkey. It again is not used at all. Like the only place where it's like kind of useful is when they um on the exposition at the beginning where they go stop the bank robbery and he just throws a guy through the window and that's it. He couldn't even fight with um you know Hazel. They were fist fighting and he actually lost, which is ridiculous. I don't even think he carries a lot of stuff. Like, yeah, he threw the bowling balls at guys on the bowling alley, but that's it. Not really something special. Alice, she could control anyone, and the only two times really that she uses, well, I guess three times, is like again on the exposition at the beginning to, oh, I had a rumor you shot your friend in the foot. It doesn't really matter. Like anyone else could have just killed the guy or punched him or do whatever to him. The other two times, the one she was against Banya, she was about to tell her to shut up, but she just kind of almost dies there, which helps nothing. I'm missing another stuff. The time she told Banya to think she was not special, that's like the most important one, I guess, throughout the whole series. Aside from the time she used it in her life to get like her reputation and work and everything, which is another thing. I don't think they explored enough on that. If they did explore a little bit more on how she used her powers to go through life, I think it would have been better. But they didn't. So, yeah. And what was the last time she used it? Oh yeah, with her daughter, which is like her main motivation. Like, oh, well, I can't see my daughter anymore. I'm divorcing because I used my power on her once, which is like really stupid, honestly. But I don't know. Five is the one who uses his powers the most and the most efficiently. He can time travel. He kills a bunch of people while teleporting and stuff like that. There's not much to add. He's the only one that uses it correctly. And then we have Klaus, which really only used his powers like 2 or 3 times. At the end, when he actually makes Ben like kind of revive, I guess, or use his power from the death. I don't know. When he contacts his father, and to get out of the Hazel and Chacha torture. Which again is the second one who uses the powers the most. It doesn't really matter. I still like his character a lot though, which is that. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this. Again, I'm giving it like a 6.5 out of 10. I don't know how fair that score is. Some people probably graded it with a higher score. I just personally didn't feel that interested into the story. I was just watching because I was like, well, might as well finish it. Just like I did with other series before. I might as well finish the season if I already started it. They set up for season 2. Hopefully that's better and fixes what I have problems with. I don't know if I'll watch it, but I guess I will just have to wait and see. So yeah, thanks for watching. Follow me on social media if you want. Twitter, I'm at D-Alber. Twitch.tv/darkalber. My YouTube is where this is being uploaded, so just subscribe if you want, I guess. And yeah, see you later.